Dear students, very warm welcome to online education and lectures of University of Southern Punjab. Dear students, I'm very excited today that we are going to start with a new poet today, that is John Donne. And I must say that I'm excited because there is a new kind of poetry that we shall be witnessing, although he was also one of the Elizabethan plus Renaissance poet, but still he's got number of things which are really unique and significant. So John Donne is the name, and he was born in 1572 and then he died in 1631. He is unique in the history of English literature, and he was not simply a poet but also a preacher, a thinker, and has got the influence of Renaissance as well as that of the modern metaphysical tradition. Here I shall stop for a moment to discuss this modern metaphysical tradition. John Donne's poetry is, as we know, very much intellectual, it's very much complex, and it's got number of metaphors and conceits in it. When I speak the word conceit, it means the images, but not simple images, very, very complex type of images. And this complexity is sometimes ununderstandable, and one is surprised how the things are going to be related with each other. Let me give you one example here in order to make this clear. There are lovers in the poetry of John Donne, as are everywhere in all the poetry. In Urdu and English, lovers are there. But he compares the lovers with a compass. You know what's a compass? In the olden times, the computers were not available, and the ships and the boats used to find their way, and even the aeroplanes used to find their way through compasses. Compasses got two needles. One needle moves forward, and then the other needle also moves forward a little, and ultimately what happens that the first needle also comes back. So in this way, the needles keep on converging to the main point where from they had started. It means one needle goes behind the other needle, and then the other needle comes back. And John Donne takes this clue and makes the lovers also the needle of the compass, that they also, for example, man goes outside of the home and then he works, and after that he comes back, but continuously he misses his beloved, and ultimately he comes back to his beloved. So in this way, lovers are compared to with the needles of a compass. This type of complexity of the images makes them that they are the conceits, they are the complex images, and the use of these complex images is called metaphors. So metaphors make his poetry as metaphysical, that is beyond physical. This is the type of poetry that we are going to read, so we shall have to open our minds and our hearts even in order to understand what John Donne wanted to say. Now you see, he was a very much important person in his age because he was not only secular but also sacred. He is writing poetry, not only divine poetry, but also erotic and love poetry. His love poems are really very significant with respect to the kind of tradition he is leading, that love is very much important in life. Without that, it's not possible to survive and not to make a mark in this world. But he says that there should be divine poems as well. However, we can also see that his poetry, divine poetry is separate, love poetry is separate. It's not mixed up together. When he writes divine poetry, he becomes 100% divine person, religious person. And when he writes love poetry, he becomes a worldly man, a secular man. So he keeps those things separately. Yes, one can say why these two kind of extremes. We can say that when he writes love poetry at that time, he is thinking in divine terms, and when he writes divine poetry, he is thinking in terms of the love poetry, worldly love. So in this way, John Donne becomes very significant in this regard. His style is unique also. You know, when he writes, he's most of the time speaking himself, and the reactions which his listeners possibly who are addressed inside the poetry, they are also the kind of person spoken by him. So this type of poetry where only one person speaks and tells about the reactions of the other people as well, that type of poetry or that type of writing is called monologue. So he is writing in this way. As far as his biography is concerned, as I said already, that he was born in 1572 at the end of 16th century, when Elizabethan period was almost starting in England. He was born in a Catholic family, and that was one of the important Catholic families of that time. His father was dealing in iron, but he died very soon, and as a result, he was left alone. But one of his aunts and uncles, who is Elizabeth Heywood, she and her, her husband came forward, John Heywood, in order to take care of John Donne. So he was a person who was raised without a father. And even then he attained a lot of brilliance. But however, when he went to Oxford University and Cambridge University, there he couldn't complete his education because of his so many issues which he had in his life, the conflicts which he had in his life. The conflicts were regarding the Catholic faith which he was possessing. So in this way, John Donne's early childhood was not that brilliant as it should have been. However, his adult life also posed a lot of problem in him, but these problems became the basis in order to investigate what is happening around him. So curiosity which he had in him, that lent him this courage that he should explore everything. For example, he explored law, he explored theology, and he explored psychology also, because he had tried to understand human emotions. So in this way, John Donne has the knowledge of so many subjects in him, and that is why all his conceits, all his images, all the metaphors which he uses, they are very complex, and on the basis of all that, he is called a metaphysical poet. Dear students, you need to keep this point all the way in your mind. Whenever you attend a lecture on John Donne, you must keep in mind that he's a metaphysical poet. And to be a metaphysical poet is not that easy, because for this we need superior intellectual capacity, and their learning, a lot of learning and a knowledge, only then we can do so. So keeping this thing in mind, we can see what more conflicts were there which sharpened the skills of John Donne. One of the things that he married Anne More. His wife's name was Anne More, and she was not Catholic, she was Anglican. And so he had to take view of the Anglican ideologies of religion, of Christianity also. So this shift from Catholicism towards Anglicanism, that created a type of shift in his worldview also. He started to understand the world in a different way too. So that is why he was, although appointed in 1615, a dean of St. Paul's Cathedral, but still he kept on moving from this to that side. It became a little bit difficult for him. But then all these things combined hands together to make his poetry as sensual as possible. And when he writes about religious poetry, that became also as deep as possible. So this conflict in his mind lent him a positivity that he could write in a different way, in a very positive way. So as I said already, that John Donne is the founder, is the person who is involved with the tradition which is called metaphysical tradition. So one can say that he is the founder of this school of poetry. That term was later on used by Samuel Johnson also. When he was writing poetry, he said it's a conceit, it's an intellectual argumentation, it's a type of imagery which is philosophical and spiritual also. So all these things combined together make the poetry of John Donne a little bit difficult. Because of this difficulty, we need to go again and again into the same lines to find out the taste and the rigor and the power of his poetry. So that is why some of the unique characteristics one can find. For example, one of the major characteristics of his poem, when you will read this poem, you will find it also, that it does not begin like a story. I mean, it does not start with an A, B, C and ending towards Z. It's not the case at all. It begins with an abrupt beginning. I mean, all of a sudden he will start in the middle of something or in the end of something. So that is why his starting of the poems are always dramatic. Why I call it dramatic? Because in drama we have certain things which happen unexpectedly. Same thing happens in the poetry of John Donne, that his poem always begins with abruptness. Abrupt opening will be there, and after that, the second thing which we should note about his poetry is the fusion of two types of language. One language which is spoken in most of the countryside or in the streets, that may be called colloquial language, and that colloquial language then is combined with his intellectual capacity. That reason and passion combined with colloquial language or the day-to-day language, and as a result his poetry becomes rich and it becomes exemplified as well also. So the conceits and the metaphors, he extends them a lot. You know, dear student, in Urdu we say दूर की सूझना. I mean, कोई ऐसी बात करना which is not available normally. Same thing is done by John Donne, that we keep on thinking, how come it's possible that John Donne has reached this type of height of making an image in his poetry. For example, as I have already told, that in his poem of Valediction Forbidding Mourning, in this poem, the title of the poem is A Valediction Forbidding Mourning, he tries to talk about love and death and religion all combined together. not only on the basis of intellectual reasoning, but also on the basis of blending sensuality and spirituality, and ultimately connecting it with physicality. And that is why it becomes even more complex. In his poetry, we have a meter, sometimes it is metered, sometimes it is not. Irregular kind of rhythm will be available in his poetry. And so he has, in a way, tried to design a new kind of poetry also. So John Donne influenced later on the many poets which come after John Donne, for example, George Herbert and Andrew Marvell and Richard Crashaw. All these poets were following his tradition. As we can guess from my speeches here in this lecture, that most of the themes that he will be talking about is the love theme, desire theme, and especially in his poems like Songs and Sonnets, he is there to explore the dynamics of love and erotic and platonic poems such as The Flea. The Flea, जिसको उर्दू में पिस्सू कहते हैं. Dear students, if you look at, very unique concept is given in this poem. For example, John Donne says that if a flea bites a man, the blood of man enters into his body. And then if the same flea bites a woman, the blood of woman also enters into his body. And when these two bloods mix in flea's body, it becomes a love blood. So this is something, very unique. Nobody thought about this. In our country, in these days, we can say that if a mosquito, maybe of latest disease, bites us, the mosquito will suck our blood. And if the same mosquito sucks the beloved also, then the love will be very strong. So this is the type of intellectualism, physicality, love exploration that John Donne takes. Let us not laugh on this kind of example. Actually, you can see here, love is a kind of abstract concept. You cannot see it anywhere. But John Donne equates this love abstract concept with concrete concept, that is mosquito, that is blood. When they combine together, the love is there. So in this way, John Donne gives us a unique comparison between the abstract and the solid or the physical. This is the one of the biggest examples or the quality of his metaphysical poetry. Not only this, we will find number of other examples which we cannot understand so easily, which we can spend a time to understand actually. And then lastly, I would say that there is religious poetry by him as well. As he is deep, powerful, strong in his love poetry, same is the case with his religious poetry. Religious poetry I'm naming here as divine poetry. He goes to the very depth of that divine poetry as well. For example, here is a title of one of his divine poem. He says, better my heart, and dear student, this better is not B-E-T-T-E-R, rather this better is B-A-T-T-E-R. This will come in the sense of beating, in the sense of crushing, better my heart. He says in this poem that God should beat his heart as strongly as possible so that it is crushed. And only love of God remains in this heart, not the love of this world remains in this heart. So that is the spiritual yearning. That's the spiritual wish which John Donne has got in him. And then he tries to show in the next part of the poem that death he's not afraid of at all. He even addresses death in one of his poems by saying, death be not proud. It means that dying means for him something very good, that the way to meet his God, not the way to kill himself 100%. So that is why John Donne writes this type of poetry. And therefore we can say that his poetry is full of conceits, full of complex images. That is why his poetry has become metaphysical, and he has got the tradition which is followed by a large number of people later on. So the technique and the style adopted by John Donne became Elizabethan conventions, and that is the type of poetry that, dear students, we shall be reading in next coming lectures. So far today's lecture is over. Thank you for attending this lecture. Hope to see you in some next one.